Klobuchar. Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank you again and your staff and the ranking member, Nelson, and staff for getting the FAA bill done. It's a very important bill for infrastructure investment for the United States, both in next-gen and in the airport facilities, and so appreciate all the hard work that went into that legislation. I wanted to ask the witnesses, obviously there's been some progress by FRA and the railroads on improving PTC implementation. I am concerned that about 3/4 of passenger railroads will be seeking an extension past that deadline, and that's obviously been what some of my colleagues have been asking about. I'm sure many of you are aware of the incident that happened in our state in DuPont, Washington, when Amtrak Cascade 501 entered a curve that basically should have only been 30 miles an hour, but it entered it at nearly 80 miles per hour, and we lost 3 lives and injuries of over 80 people. So I know that Mr. Batroy, you said that there in your testimony a lack of urgency among some at the railroads to expand and get this done. What else do we need to do to make sure that people take this implementation seriously?
I can't speak to the past, but I can speak to the current. As far as this situation being taken seriously, I have no doubt in my mind that it's being taken seriously by all the entities. And part of that is not only what we've done, but what you have done in support of the FRA, plus what you've done directly with some of these entities. So at this juncture, I am encouraged.
So you think the urgency is there, even though we're seeing a lot of extension seekers?
Yes, and at one time, people were submitting information to us that would say, okay, I'll have it all done by 12/31/18, or I'll have it all done by 12/31/20. They were treating it like income tax. You know, it's filed by 4/15. That has since changed. We have a population of to-be-compliant railroads that are submitting aggressive schedules to us, and we're being aggressive with ourselves internally.
Well, I definitely believe in the technology. I also believe in situational awareness, because there's no reason why. On this bypass, my understanding is, and we can ask Amtrak about that, there won't be any run on that Defiance bypass until the PTC is fully tested and operated.
That is absolutely true. We are, at this point, we're projecting beginning to run potentially, and I think WashDOT and Sound Transit have made this announcement in spring of 19, but we will be we would have PTC fully installed. In fact, for Amtrak right now in the state of Washington, we are fully PTC operational.
Except for that.
But we actually are not running that bypass.
Right, right. So that's my point, and so.
We also will requalify all our crews. We have reassessed our entire certification program, and all the crews in Washington will go through the recertification.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I really do think, obviously, we're so proud of where aviation has been because of implementation of technology. We definitely think this will help here, but definitely make sure that Amtrak is doing good situational awareness training for those on those lines where you don't have PTC implemented yet. But if I could just switch over quickly to the rules on highway rail grade crossings. I was just conferring with the chair. Definitely our state is on the Pacific, and we are shipping lots of products to the Pacific. It makes the increase in volume so challenging because we have a lot of at-grade crossings, and I know that FRA is going to create a rule requiring states to submit their own highway rail grade crossing plans. What is the status of that rule?
Okay. The finalization is yet to be forthcoming. It will be a very comprehensive and proactive rule with the states to take, if you will, the next steps that can be advantageous to protecting the public when they are not totally aware of their surroundings and environment near railroad crossings. One thing that was very interesting I'll share with you is when we first started inventorying grade crossings back in the early to mid 1970s, we had nearly 12,000 fatalities a year. We're now under 1,000. It's still 1,000 too many. The federal government has contributed nearly $4.6 billion through the Federal Highway Administration to eliminate grade crossings as well as improve grade crossings. We naturally stand on the principles of engineering, education, and enforcement. But that second E, education, it lives forever, and that's something that we have to concentrate on. And insofar as engineering, we have to exploit technology and look at other types of technology that we can overlay on our existing grade crossing protection to make it safer for the general public.
I know my time has expired. I will just say, Mr. Chairman, so this is so important because we do need the model from you about what states should use. And this at-grade crossing, in this instance, the city of Lakewood, which sits, on that line that we're discussing where the incident occurred, they have 7 at-grade crossings just in their region. So it is a lot of challenge for a not small community, it's right where our joint base Lewis McChord is, and so there's so much activity there. We need to have the leadership of FRA and working with all of us to make these improvements, so thank you.
You have my commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cantwell. Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you.